Okay, so hopefully this time we have a few more things worked out as far as the static in the headset and there being sound. In this video we have a bit more to cover. We're going to add an input mask, create the form, disallow focus, and make sure the form is read only. It really shouldn't take us all that long. So, pick up right where we left off last time, and we will go into design view. Come down to the Transdate, select the input mask, select the ellipse, short date, next. You can change this if you want, no real need to. Next, and finish. Now you've added your input mask. Go ahead and save it. That's really all there is to it. Alright, so next on our list is to create the form. So to create the form, we will close out of our tab, go to create, we'll select the blank form, not one of the other options. Go into the design view, show all tab or all tables, hit the plus sign here, and we'll double click each one. I don't know why there's a hyperlink. Okay. That was weird. Alright, add them in the order that you want them to appear. It makes it easier later on. So we'll do the trans number, cusno, transdate, prod num, quantity, and new charge. Leave these out for now. It's just instructions, so that's what we're going to do. So now we will close the field list. We will come into design and open the properties sheet. We're going to want to do a couple extra things here. We have on our list of things to do, we've already done all of this stuff. And close the field list. We're now opening this and getting to the design tab. What we're going to want to do here is we're going to add all the default values, the validation rules, and validation text that we did last time. And it's just because it's an extra precaution. The main reason actually is because the web-based systems, they're going to really do validations at the form level. But I think is what he actually says in class. I'm having problems reading my handwriting. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Start by selecting, well actually trans number we don't have to do any of this stuff with. So we can go down to cusno, and our default value is 111. Tab down to your validation rule. It has to be 3 digits, so it's the exact same that we did on the table. Greater than or equal to 100 and less than or equal to 999. Validation text, same thing. Must be, we'll just do 3 digits to make it a little shorter. Alright. Now also what we're going to do here is we want this one to also have a control tip text, which is what you get when you hover over it. So we will say must be 3 digits. Now the status bar text is what's going to show up down here. So we'll say please enter the 3-digit customer number. Alright, and we're going to do that for each one. So for Transdate, we will do control tip, enter the transaction date. Status bar, we make the status bar a little longer. You want them to really actually know what you're trying to say. They're trying to get them to put in. So please enter the date of the transaction. That makes it a little more, doesn't have to be today. So come over to the default value, and we will say date. Validation rule is less than or equal to date. I'm not entirely sure that this one's not supposed to be equals to date, but we will test it here in a second. Validation text, date cannot be after today, because I can enter it before or equal to today. So to test that to make sure we're doing it right, this goes ahead and shows up as the default date. So we do have it set correctly. Now we'll go down to product number, Default value is 1, 1. Validation rule is greater than or equal to 10 and less than or equal to 99. Validation text must be a 2-digit number. And this, I don't know if I've covered it, but the validation text actually shows up after you enter an incorrect number. So if we entered 100, this would show up. Go into the other tab, Control Tab, enter the product number. Whoops. Come down to the status bar, enter the product number you wish to order. Save it. Oh, well, we'll do this now. Whenever you hit save the first time, it's going to ask you for this, or if you try and close it, and we'll call this FRM orders. Again, it's just what our instructions say. Now back to what we were doing. Go into quantity, control tip, enter the quantity desired. Shortcut, status bar will just say the same thing. It makes it a little easier. Just copy it, paste it. Data, default value, 1. Validation rule can't be negative, so it's greater than or equal to 0. Cannot enter a negative number. New charge, default value is 0. Cannot be negative, greater than or equal to 0. Cannot enter a negative number. Your control tip, just say enter the amount of the order. And the status bar, we'll just once again do the same thing, so we'll just copy it all, and if it'll let me. Oops. Alright, there we go. Save it. So it looks like this is a whole lot, but we've now done all of it. So now we want to disallow the focus on the trans number. What this means is we don't want them to be able to access it. They can't go in, they can't enter their own number. We want it to just go ahead and autofill it. That way there's never an issue. So we will go back into the database, trans number, it's the data property, and we want to change enabled from yes to no. And we want to do it from locked from no to yes. You can double click or do it with the drop down menus like I just did both of those. So once you save that, we've gone ahead and done both of these. So now we want to create this file, or create this to be the form to be read only, meaning we don't want them to be able to do anything other than add to it. We don't want them to edit any of our orders or delete any of the orders. So we want to select our form object, which is this box right here, and once you click it and you get the black box, your property sheet should switch to the properties that govern the entire form. So what we want to do is allow additions, we don't want to allow deletions, and we do not want to allow edits. If I can make it stop changing. I believe on my final one I actually had this set to no also, but shouldn't actually change anything. So just go ahead and save it, and now you've done all of video 2.